I must say it was a quite rough qualifier for us. We had quite a lot of trouble with the teams up until the last match, obviously, which we won really convincingly. But we made it through, we stepped up, and yeah, we're happy about it. Obviously, people got frustrated at some points. There were fights in the team after disappointing results, but we managed to keep together, and I think it's time for it to finally pay off. Lately, we've been playing a lot. We had a boot camp. We worked hard together as a team. We brought in a new coach who I feel helped a lot in our mental game. During the game, he calms us down. He gives us a few tells about what the opponent might be doing, so we are more relaxed and know what we can expect. And we already had the skills. We have a lot of amazing players. It's just we need to bring it out at the right moment. Nico is for sure the superstar. I mean, he's the most consistent in always bringing his performance. Dennis obviously had an awesome performance now at the qualifier, but Nico always brings it. It feels like he never has a bad game, and for that, he's the superstar. He's one of the best players in the world. The main goal right now to reach top 8 there, and not only because we'll be legend status, but we want to play in front of the crowd, in front of all the fans. I mean, I'm Dutch myself, but I've played so long in Mouse. I feel a little bit German. I feel connected with the fans that support me. So it would be a great honor and amazing experience to finally reach the stage there.
This is a big one. EnVy, a team that have made 3 major finals, and then you have mousesports, who, as mousesports, have not made it out to the playoffs. It seems like a bit of a mismatch, but certainly the desk is going to be discussing all of that and more. I've got, of course, Janko, Thorin, and Moses standing by to talk a little bit about this one. One of these teams is going home. One of these teams does not make it out of groups, gentlemen. I'd like to actually start with a bit of a different topic, which is, of course, what Chris J mentioned in the video. He was actually singing the praises of Kassad, this new addition in the coaching role. Janko, I know that you're familiar with him. In fact, I think you did some observing with him way back when, if you rewind the clock.
We played for a long time.
You played together as well.
I mean, Nico for 2 years, Alex.
He knew that, definitely, don't worry. I haven't dropped himself in it there at all.
I don't think I've dropped myself in. The most recent time I saw him with Kassad was...
Let's get to the content.
Yeah,
let's get to the content, boys.
Yeah, so he's definitely a really experienced guy. I mean, he was the in-game leader of our team initially, put in a lot of work, watch a lot of demos. That's what he does for Mouse right now. For the long run, he's supposed to take over the in-game leading, but because they have so many tournaments, he doesn't want to jump into it straight away. So he mostly helps Nico with preparation, analyzing their opponents, helping them with communication, you know, inside of the game, mid-round, and so forth. Gives an idea to Nico if he thinks that they should switch things up. But yeah, I think that it's really important that he can be able to, you know, lower down the emotions of that team, because we know that they can get pretty feisty at times.
It did sound like that was kind of what Chris J was suggesting Kassad did mostly, was just controlling emotions. It wasn't so much the tactical aspects. He's not a threat or a Star X. He's more of just kind of a shoulder to cry on and a shoulder to calm them all down at some point.
I mean, right now, yes, but as I said, it is the intention of him to be the in-game leader of the team in the long run.
In the long run, certainly. Now, when you talk about EnVy Mouse, Duncan, I want to get these maps done and dusted, because I don't know how clear-cut this is. When you talk about mousesports, where do their strengths lie in the map pool? Let's start that Vita.
Yeah, well, mousesports is famously very good on Dust 2 and Cache, but obviously Cache is a map that the guys over on EnVyUs love, and actually they've been bringing Dust 2 back into their map pool, so I feel like there is some shared map pool here. Now, mousesports banning out Cobble. They know that Cobble is one of the best EnVyUs maps, especially recently. They've gotten better and better on it as their form's risen. It's a map that mousesports have a lot of losses on in the recent history. EnVyUs banning Overpass is just actually their permaban. That's a fairly standard one. It's not the mousesports play it. Guys from mousesports choose to ban out Mirage. Very surprising to me, actually, because that's actually, I would say, the 3rd map of mousesports. I'd say that's one they'd at least want to potentially play here, because it's not also known as an EnVyUs map, so that's kind of a curveball to me. EnVyUs themselves ban out Cache. That almost makes me wonder if it's like they were swapped around there, because, okay, sure, the mousesports guys are fantastic on Cache. EnVy is very good on Cache too. The ban of Nuke here means we're going to have Train or Dust 2. Now, the reason why this is strange is because Dust 2, both teams like it. Both teams would like to play the game on that. Train, I don't think of either of these teams as Train teams. Sure, Mouse have some wins on it recently, but obviously they lost on it to Virtus Pro here. In fact, I think both teams lost on Train in the first map of this tournament. I don't think either of these teams are particularly strong on Train, and when you consider one of them's going out of the whole major, this is kind of a risky battleground.
Jason, Train, again, here in the group stages.
I think EnVy's fallen into. I mean, I know they lost to Liquid on this just the other day, but I think they've almost fallen into that trap where they feel so good about their win over Virtus Pro that they had last week on it that they're willing to play it because they're just like, oh, we can beat Virtus Pro on it. But that was very much largely dependent on like you had that massive effort out of Kenny S. He was a huge factor in that. And also Devil had probably his best series, his best map on Train that we've seen him have in Envy. So they're relying on some of these individual performances that have peaked, that aren't the standard performances that we've seen recently. So that's a huge gamble from them. And then Nico, and then mousesports as well. I mean, Nico, obviously the big one-man army we always talk about, but also Chris J on this map. You know, him in general, he's just been very, very effective recently. So I think that's going to be huge. If Chris J maintains this form, we have to have Nico get back to that because he struggled in their first match.
And talking about Nico struggling on Train, when I talked to them after the game, it seems that because he had a pretty weak T side, and apparently his role on the T side is to try and get control of the halls, to try and apply pressure to the B bomb side to keep 2 players there. So when they actually go for executes, he doesn't have a lot of room to play with. He isn't the one making the play, making room. So that's when talking to them, I kind of disliked that. I would have wished that they played a map where Nico would be able to create more room on the T side.
And that actually just highlights some of the things with Nico being so important in this team, how he has to do so much and give up so much. That's such a crucial position, and it's a very underrated position that you have to have someone who can control box halls on Train. It has to be done, and if they don't trust anyone else to do it, they're just removing their own firepower from the equation.
This also, obviously, if you think about it, allows both teams to have scouted the opponent, because if they both thought it was possible to go to Train, they had literally a demo from yesterday to watch of each of their opponent, themselves and the opponent, losing the game. So there's a blueprint there as to how to beat both of them and where the weaknesses lie. I still feel like it's the EnVyUs one that I find really confusing here. It confused me that Mouse banned out Mirage, but at the same time, I don't really understand this EnVyUs ban of Cash. I would have thought they'd much prefer to play Cash. Seems like a much better map for them in general, so they can say they're confident here, but they didn't look like a confident Train team yesterday.
I think Yanko's face almost hit the monitor when he saw the Mirage ban out of mousesports. I don't know, is there...
I have no idea what happened there. I would have expected them to be comfortable playing Mirage, especially against EnVyUs, but maybe they had something else in plan. They prepared more for Train, expecting that to be one of the 2 maps. But yeah, definitely a really volatile matchup between these 2 teams, because you saw yesterday, you mentioned Devil had the best map at Ely. Yesterday, probably the worst map on Train.
So much on the line, and it's on Train. A bit of an unknown entity for us here at the desk and for some of these players. I do want to start probing for predictions. As you can see, the French faces there who are on death's door. 1 loss on this map, and the French side would once again, for a second time, be finishing last place at the major. Start with you then, Jason. What have you got for me?
Realistically, this is just strikes me as a very 50-50, because we've seen both teams show up very, very good and very, very weak recently. It's just the communication issues we saw at EnVyUs yesterday on Train specifically worries me, and I'm going to take mousesports.
Taking Mouse, expecting Envy to bum out of another major.
Yeah, it's going to be a really close one, I feel, but I have to go with my boys, Nico and Kassad, and I feel that they're going to be able to bounce back after yesterday and go into that decider match tomorrow.
When I think of the way that the guys from EnVyUs lost Train yesterday, a lot of post-plant situations played very well, a lot of 1vx, a lot of 2vx situations won by Team Liquid. I don't see that as the mousesports way of winning at all. I don't think mousesports has the firepower that Liquid displayed yesterday and even today against Virtus.pro. So I'm going to take EnVyUs to win this, and I'm going to go against the rest of the desk again and try and double my money.
All right, believing in Envy. Neither of those surprised me. Yanko believing in Mouse, Duncan believing in Envy. We know where your allegiances lie. Though the game is ready and so are your casters. And this is a big one. It goes down on Train. Envy, will they go out in groups for a second time here at the majors? Or will mousesports once again miss out on an opportunity to play in front of a quote-unquote home crowd? Anders and Semler are ready and waiting.
Thank you very much, Alex. And yes, indeed, we are ready. It's going to be mousesports and Team Envy. And a bit shocking, it's true, that one of these 2 teams is going to be out. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. It seems like mousesports, how many times can they get close and still not make it?
Well, it's more like right now what I'm wondering, black jerseys for Envy, are they here to attend a funeral? German hopes about to be buried?
I was going to wonder which way you were going to go with that.
Right?
Could have been could have been maybe their own funeral.
That too. You see, that's the thing. It's a bit of a catch-all approach I'm going with there, Anders. You know, like, could be Envy just letting us all drop again, or it could be mousesports, you know, once again, not able to get out of the groups, not able to make it into that top 8 and play on the stage, because they were in this situation last year. Although they were in the deciding match last year, still, they weren't able to pull it through. They ended up choking in the end, and they weren't able to play on that stage in front of all of their fans here live in Germany. So there is that to consider right now. Their backs are to the wall, and there's just going to be a little bit more pressure on them, because obviously, as Chris J said, you know, he's from the Netherlands and he still wants to play in front of these fans, right? He feels like this is their home crowd. They need to be here.
I wonder, I mean, I really don't know. I feel like Envy was showing a lot of promise earlier, but I still feel like there are so many unknown factors, right? And when you're Devil and you're coming into this and you're trying to be the in-game leader, and then you're leading all these people who have a lot more experience than you do, there's bound to be like a really long initiation period where you're gonna be running into things that you don't quite know how to handle. And I think we could still see that from EnVy, but I still have a pretty good feeling about EnVy on this map. I think they're in a good position. I feel like they should be able to win against mousesports here, but best of ones, you never know, right? You see how much it matters just winning one or even both pistol rounds.
Damn near brings a tear to my eye, Anders.
What?
That French hype.
The French hype. I hope it's not all for nothing here. I mean, we've got this is one big French drama match. We've got another one coming up at the end of the day, which is Fnatic playing G2, right?
Don't remind me of that game, man. It's okay. It's bad enough that EnVy and Mouse are on the edge. That EnVy is on the edge of elimination, but Fnatic or G2?
Yeah.
Who would have said that that was about to happen tonight, later on? So guys, don't go anywhere. There's so many good matches left for the day, but these are elimination matches. This is the last time we'll see one of these two teams playing this time at the major.
And just to point, isn't it tomorrow as well that France is playing Germany in football?
Oh yeah, they're gonna get railed. I mean, German production crew instantly produced was just like, yes. But I mean, they had, it was a bit of a tough call as well, because like, Iceland, so obviously Sweden, Denmark, everybody's getting behind him in Scandinavia. And then I was actually in France and I was watching it with a bunch of French people, and I was the only guy cheering for Iceland. So I was like, yeah. And yeah, no, France just completely crushed Iceland, but they got an easy break. They got an easy match. Germany are just, what are they gonna do? Is they gonna feed them some strudel or something? There you go. That, usually we talk about the French baguette.
Maybe.
I hear you like schnitzel.
Some currywurst, maybe.
It's gonna be brutal, man.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't want to call it yet. I don't want to call it. I'm just saying there seems to be multiple matchups going on here at the moment. And Train is the map to be played as well, which is kind of interesting. We always say this, and we might as well say it again. So much is going to come down to how much Nico can carry and how much help he's going to get. Yeah. Because the weird fact about this mousesports team, although we make a lot of fun of them and all that stuff, if you had any game in which Nico played to his level and Chris hit like a good level, and even one other player playing 50% of his level, that would be a terrifying team. I mean, even just Chris and Nico together as like two people functioning in the team would be really good. But you put Nex or Speedy or Dennis or any one of the other three, and even sort of 50%, and I think you've got a pretty good shot of having a high impact. So the tragedy of this team is that almost never happens. It's almost just one person. Either it's Nico alone or it's Chris and someone else, but then Nico not doing much, which is sort of the rare example. But it is a bit strange that it has to be that kind of thing going on.
Well, that's what sets them apart from being a top-tier team. If you think about the very top, right now, it's like Na'Vi, it's SK. It's teams that literally all 5 of those players will drop 20 bombs any day of the week, 30 bombs any day of the week. They're all actually pretty consistent. Nobody really running away with the game because they're all hitting their shots. And then you think about mousesports, really, the focus does land on that one player to be the hard boss carry and just get work done. The only problem is that's only going to get you so far. You need to have the team that you can count on to help you there. EnVyUs is one of those teams. I mean, Devil's been taking some flack lately, and he doesn't usually deliver. But, I mean, you have the likes of Kenny, of Apex, of NBK.
Well, we do see now Nico already being challenged. That was a great way to start. They double, and I think you maybe triple peaked him from different angles there. And actually, I can understand why EnVy were ready for that, because I can remember a number of games on Train where I've seen Nico go for that exact same peak. So you might wonder if it's at the point where maybe it's become a tad too predictable. It's
NBK does research. NBK does research. Before the match, he's sitting there.
Like I'd say, even without the research, you can just remember that that's happened a number of times. So it's a likely thing to try and sort of expect here. Speedy now going to be falling all the way back, and backup is being called for here. Bomb goes down, and it's a 4-on-5.
Yeah, and this is the correct play as well. What NBK is going to find next, that's going to make life easier. But Apex is pushing aggressively at Connector. Kenny is there at Connector as well. They'll never expect the second man. That's Apex, who's going to go for a bit of a delayed peek. Dennis will find the shot on Kenny. Speedy and Chris hitting shots all of a sudden, and things are starting to fall apart here for EnVy.
Oh, Happy walking in behind. He does miss a lot of shots then, and even takes a jump. That's dangerous. Devil is up here, and Happy gets a kill on Speedy. Now all on Dennis in a 1-on-2. He's inside the smoke, defusing with the kid. They're running up on him. Dennis is. He's gonna get the round. Oh my God, Envy.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, and he gets
Devil.
the kill as well. How on earth did Envy throw that away?
It's more insult
an-
to injury. Devil is actually negative kills right now.
How did they manage to toss that round away?
There's a number of hows. How did Happy actually pull off a successful lurk this time as well? He got 2 kills. Normally, teams are just sitting there posted up, ready for him to come through connector. Oh my God, Devil, you really just can't catch a break, man. Hey.
I can't believe it. Look, I mean, this falls apart in the point in time when they're playing a 5 versus 3 with the bomb down, and they somehow lose 3 members in a row for no goddamn reason. Like, why is anyone peeking or fighting anywhere? They've already put, like, that's just so mind-blowing.
Well, this is one of the elementary mistakes that EnVyUs have been, or weaknesses rather, that EnVyUs have been battling with for quite some time. It's the fact that when they feel like they're ahead in the round, they want to end the round, and that tendency that they have, it's come back to bite them time and time again, and we just saw it bite them again right there. It's they just go and look for fights that they don't need to, and it's eventually, that's what's going to cost you. A team like SK, they get into that position, or even a team like Fnatic, they get into that position, they're never going to make those kinds of mistakes. So EnVyUs, they really need to, well, now, I mean, they've just got their heads dunked in a cold shower in a bucket, right? So they're going to cool off a little bit, and they're going to have to start focusing up because they're behind.
And BK trying to have a good fight with Nico here, and he's doing some damage, but eventually Speedy going to help out, and also Nico getting a single kill with the scout. A little bit of a shame. It does get taken down by Kenny. Long range with a Deagler headshot, leaving Happy alone. And a good double kill coming in from Speedy in that round. So mousesports going to pick up a second round, leading into the third, because they did get the bomb plant. Envy are already going to be ready with the rifles here. So we'll see if they can have a swift comeback here into the game.
That's what, I mean, now really is where, okay, guys, buckle down. Calm down, you get an edge, everything works for you, great, just sit. Don't go for the peaks, don't go for the battles. That is, I guarantee you what NBK is telling them. Although NBK doesn't really tend to talk during the rounds, he usually saves it for the tactical timeout or the halftime. If NBK was thinking something, that's what he was thinking right now, like, not again. So, we'll see. EnVyUs default setup for them, Happy and NBK working as a duo towards the Brown Halls, Devil, Apex, and Kenny working towards that A site to make sure that mousesports can't get too aggressive. As I say that, though, Nico, he's waiting. He's got that smoke set up in Brown Halls. He's got that shotgun right on the other side. Spots out MBK, but he misses the shot.
Speedy is behind him in case they're going to try and rush him down. So they've got sort of a little bit of a setup there, but it doesn't seem to work too well. Nico takes a lot more damage than he dishes out. So overall, I would say some heads-up play for Envy. I feel like at this point, anyone who sees that smoke anyway is already going to be a bit paranoid. And Kenny, just before the second smoke pops up, he does see the feet of Dennis. So now mousesports have taken even more damage, and Envy still have plenty of time to mess around on the map. So this slow and measured sort of approach here for Envy seems to be working out pretty well.
I wonder, no, he couldn't have been close enough. Speedy, close to Brown Halls. He was by spools, though, so when Happy started running, I think he might have just been far enough where mousesports wouldn't have that early warning of a guy stepping up around there. Nico is not close enough to rotate onto the A site. Devil's going to take the fight. He might die here in the flames, but he just barely escapes. And now, well, EnVyUs, they're set to crush onto this A site. There is the rotation coming out from Nico, but next gets picked off by Kenny and MBK. And Apex will find Dennis. This is working perfectly now for the Frenchman.
Absolutely. Speedy, just not a lot that he could do. He's just going to be waiting over there. Devil and NBK both very low on health, so there could have been a scenario in which that could have worked out quite differently, and, you know, it could have been a quick couple of kills in favor of mousesports, but every single person just won their battle, and, you know, when that happens, you're going to be in a good position pretty much no matter what. So we'll see if Speedy can save the rifle into the next round. But from mousesports' point of view, this is obviously a bit uncomfortable, because when they buy in the third round and you can't stop that round, it means they're going to have a pretty good economy, and you're definitely not. So no one dying yet on Envy.
Far from ideal, no matter how you cut it.
Right now, looks like Speedy almost about to walk into Apex. A very slow end to this round, it seemed. Just taking forever, and Apex and Speedy both going to make it out of the round. So 2-1, and Envy coming into it a little bit here. Classic Happy pose. Again, that sad look on his face and the hand, you know, resting on the chin there is absolutely no indication of how things are going. Can read nothing from that.
It's just eternal, man. It's like he was born into the world with that pose being like, is that it?
Yeah,
Is this all the rage? This is what everybody's going on about?
I'm actually quite warmed up to Happy. I actually think he's a really cool guy. It just takes a while to get to know him, I feel like, but he's actually quite a cool person. Now, we are going to be moving into the 4th round here. Bomb drop back for Envy, already a good indication that they're still just making sure mousesports aren't, running away with anything weird here, and just setting up for some kind of an early kill. On the mousesports side, it is really limited what they've got. One smoke, one Molotov, a couple of flashbangs, but it's a little bit thin right now.
It's not pretty. It's far from pretty. A lot of this is going to come down to mousesports like guessing correctly as to where EnVyUs are going to go. Because if they could get that edge, if they could stack somebody over on a bomb site that EnVy are going to go for, that would change a lot here for them because they are pretty limited on the firepower. Nico, I mean, he's sitting on a 5.7. That's far from ideal. And Chris J with the scout, but they are set up. I mean, 50 seconds left here at EnVy. They've got that bomb where it could kind of go either way, but it does look like it's up in the hallways here. Kenny is going to be setting it up. They could still try and wrap out from Pop Dog onto that A site, but Happy in the meantime is still cleared out the brown halls, so there are options here. But Happy, seeing as how he's getting close to the B site, and the 4 players, I mean, it is the straight rush out onto the A site here.
Great flashbang there. Almost getting the kill on Speedy. It's got to be close now. He does take out Devil. And Nex is playing close with the FAMAS. Picks up one. Ready for Kenny as well. Great work from Nex. He looks for the triple. He's got 6 bullets left and he can't get the kill on Apex. But Chris is there to pick that one up. Now 19 seconds and Happy going to go down. Straight headshot coming through from Chris J. And he even steals an AK. That's a massive round win for mousesports here. It's going to not quite reset EnVy. They won't actually have enough money. And that's mainly because they didn't lose anyone in that one round that they won, so that comes back to help them so much. But yeah, a bit of hope for mousesports at least.
It's a tough thing when it comes down to the stylistic approach that EnVy have right now, that they're getting forced into with Happy, right? He always seems to want to be on that lurk role, and sometimes it just gets predictable. In the pistol round, he was effective coming in from connector, but we've seen other teams punish him. They just know that, right, if we see the group over here, we know that Happy's like on the opposite side of the map, and it happens so often now that teams just predict it. They knew where he was coming from as well, because he did get that delayed kill on the man rotating over from B. Chris J doesn't miss the shot when he comes through connector, but someday I would like to see EnVy go in as 5. And just go as a group as 5 and play, as a unit rather than having that one guy who's just dedicated lurker and can get a little predictable in that.
Yeah, but you are right. That really has been their approach for a long time, and see if it's going to pay off at some point here. Speedy playing a bit aggressive over by the B bomb site, and again, EnVy seem to sort of want to start all of these rounds off so far with being a bit slow, and they don't want any surprises. Kenny lurking up with the AWP. I do like this approach if you're on the T side, especially if you've got a Kenny on your team. Why not try and have him open it up? And Chris is going to be out of the round. Speedy does get a return kill onto MBK, but still pretty good start there for Kenny.
Unreal how quick he is. He just barely spots him and manages to get the kill. And he's going to pick off Nex as well. This is the Kenny Beast unleashed, but Nico, he's more than enough to match that. Instant headshot takes down Kenny. Devil will be there to trade, however, and Devil follows it up, takes out Dennis. And now it's Speedy alone. Long lurk coming in from him, and he will win the duel versus Happy. Turns it into a 1v2, and he didn't take too much damage either, so he has some options. Sets up with the flash, not going to work versus Devil, but he did spot him behind Electric. And he does chuck out that incendiary just a little bit too fast. Not going to be as effective, and Devil will take advantage of it. 3 kills for Devil in the key round here for EnVy. And a lot of that built off of Kenny with the double entry kill. I mean, when you've got the likes of Kenny and Apex, that's when he fills his role. That's when he does what's necessary, right? If it's not going to be Apex opening up the site, it has to be Kenny, and that time Kenny delivered.
Oh, and already I'm, a little bit happy. Speedy picking up the taser. He did this the last major as well, and he actually got a ridiculous amount of kills with it. So
don't remind me.
I definitely enjoy that. And Chris as well is joining in. Well, there's a party for everyone now. I like it. But the fact is, this pattern that's evolving now, where mousesports went around and then EnVy went around, and they sort of keep trading, is not good for mousesports. While you're on the CT side, trading rounds like that is going to be horrible. Speedy sneaking up behind it. Apex is there. Does he realize? He must. Oh, there it is. The taser has gone away, and Chris is the last one left, and he's not in a position to make use of it. In fact, Happy just going to casually click them away, and that's going to tie up the scoreline at 3-3. And mousesports, well, they could buy if they want to, but it wouldn't be great.
It just, whenever you get the taser, unless you're holding the angle close, if you're on the move, it always seems to me that it just promotes idiotic play. Because, like, look at Speedy there. Maybe if he dances around with the pistol, he can be a little bit of a threat. He can try and play some games. But he instantly tried to just swap to the taser and drop on him. And it's like, come on, man. You wouldn't have done that if you didn't have that taser. And it's obviously not going to work. The guy's spraying. I mean, I don't know.
That's why it's great. That's why I love it. Absolutely. 7th round is going to be coming up, and Apex is playing close here to Electric, but it's Nex who opens up. Straight deagle shot to the face of Happy, and Apex just wants to get the hell out. NBK trying to see if he could follow it up, and he does a pretty good job taking down Nex. Then it's a full Nex, and now Devil out in the open, and no problem here. Good recovery from Envy. Looked like they could have lost both NBK and Apex there, but they make it out just fine, and now it's time for mousesports to come back into this game, and they're going to do it with a double AWP setup. On Train, that could be very powerful.
I'm a fan. Yes, please. Nico is perfectly capable of opping at a high level. Chris J, I mean, he's the go-to opper, obviously.
But we should mention the potential downside to doing it, which is when you get into the retake scenario. That's where you don't want to have sort of 2 of the AWPs retaking either bomb side, really. So hopefully they don't end up in that kind of situation.
The thing is that Nico looks like he wants to take it aggressive over towards B. Kenny is going to have that duel versus Chris J, and Chris J trying to pull a fast one on him. Not going to open it up. Instead, that's Dennis to take down NBK. That was over by Popdog. Kenny now has to worry about backing off here. He could get pressured by mousesports, but mousesports, now that they have the opening kill, should just trying to initiate the lockdown. No more aggression. Just hold on the angles. Make sure that Envy are the ones who have to make the play against you, or I guess just run in and die to Apex. That works too, mousesports. Apex with 2 kills. Then we're into a 3-on-3. EnVyUs in the blink of an eye, right back into the round.
Man, that might not have been the smartest move from mousesports, but it looked pretty amazing from Apex's point of view. They just lined up for him. So 3-on-3, Speedy and Devil about to walk into the Nico with a nice shot there, and Speedy wins the fight against Devil, which leaves Apex with a minute to try and do a 1v3, and that is not going to happen. Nico picking up a double. They save both the AWPs, and that's going to tie up the scoreline again now at 4-4. But look at the money on Envy. They just have so much of it.
Yeah, what was the time? Unfortunately, I didn't actually check the time, but how much time was left in the round there when they started to push towards B? Felt to me like there should have been a whole lot more.
More than a minute left. So.
Okay, so why the disjointed, like, one at a time kind of push coming out from Envy there? That's a little odd.
Yeah, I think...
Could have taken their time to group up, get 3 together, and then decide where to go.
Maybe if Speedy wins the fight down at Ivy, but it's one of those plans where it really does, it is like a maybe, you know. If I win the fight, if you win that fight, you know, there's no backup plan to that. If you don't win the fight, well, then we lose the round.
This definitely feels like that's how it broke, because while we're tied up 4v4, or 4-2-4 rather, in mousesports, they've got that double AWP, like you said, maintained it. Chris J's got the angle. He's going to catch Apex shoulder peeking into main. He's going to get that punish. So there's the man advantage for mousesports. Nico also, as NBK hits a god-tier shot onto Nico. That is unreal. Definitely thought that Nico was going to hit that shot every day of the week, but NBK just instant.
Yeah, but what was I mean, that was, I think, more so a failure of Nico than it was a success on NBK's part. I mean, it's really nice that he gets the shot, but there's no way Nico should be missing that. So that's pretty shocking. It was, what a great start from mousesports, though. That kind of a peek into main is actually, I can't really think of many ways to stop that from happening. If you Molotov off those 2 corners and have the AWP sort of covering you from behind, how are the T's going to punish that? That's actually very smart. It's a pretty heavy investment. You know, you do use a lot of money throwing the Molotovs and everything, but I kind of like that. I actually think that's a very good idea. I haven't seen too many teams done that before, so that's a pretty intelligent play coming out. But Devil has managed to sneak all the way behind, and Speedy is about to be in much more trouble than he realizes. He's going to be out of the round in a matter of seconds, and then the bomb side is lost. And in fact, Chris, Nico, and and Dennis should probably just... yeah, shortly just try and save here. I don't think there's anything they could do.
No, exactly, and there's no chance of getting that AWP as well. EnVyUs will have held on to it. Kenny has got his. They've got the bomb site. No reason to get anywhere near it. And unfortunately, sometimes when you're holding that close, it seems like mousesports were kind of just playing a gamble game where they were like, right, they're going to come back in through A main to try and be thorough, to try and get control of this part of the map back. And unfortunately for mousesports, EnVyUs were just wrote it off. They were like, right, all right, we got control of brown halls. Everybody gets the brown halls. Who cares about A site now? So mousesports trying to pull a fast one there on Envy, and it just doesn't pan out. So 2 rifles saved, an AWP. No reason for Envy to go hunting aggressively either, I don't think. They don't necessarily have a stellar economy of their own. So much better here for them to just chill out. Everybody saves. They kind of write this round off, and EnVyUs are now in the lead 5-4. But yeah, Envy aren't sitting on a massive bank either, so saving rifles isn't too shabby.
No, I think that's a reasonable choice, especially because it's trained. There are so many ways you can get killed by trying to check all the corners. So maybe just save what they have right here. But that does also allow mousesports to buy. But I think Envy must be feeling very confident with the way that this is going right now. Again, we're not talking about sort of massive streaks coming from either team. You know, Envy took 3 in a row, but that's the longest streak we have right now. So it's, you know, it's working out quite well for them. And I think if it continues like this, mousesports are going to have such a lot of trouble making anything work, really. Dennis and X are still playing aggressive out here, and I kind of like that again. Seeing if they could do something similar as the last run. They don't have Chris covering them the same way, so there is a bit of risk, but looks like they'll be fine.
Looks like Chris, I mean, there's a variation on the setup. Chris is expecting some kind of punish to come out from Pop Dog. And so he had the setup there, but now they're so pushed forward that you can see Chris starting to worry a little bit of some kind of, you know, retaliation coming out from Ali. And so he's looking for the back flank exactly towards the back line. This is just a little bit unorthodox coming out from mousesports. And that might work to their advantage. I mean, EnVyUs might not know how to handle this kind of situation, but now we're starting to get back into a bit more of a stable scenario here. Chris J.
It seems like they want to try and hide Dennis in the corner, and then when the smoke fades, he sort of goes and peeks and hopes to catch someone. It's a creative idea, but it doesn't seem like Envy are anywhere near anyway, so probably nothing going to happen. The bomb is down by Ivy, so we'll see if maybe they could find a way out here. Envy, pop flash into Pop Dog, and they're going to be quick down the ladder. Chris now holding out in the yard, and he's a little bit alone because the other two members are in main. Molotov to force them out a little bit, and Chris turning around, quick shot, drops the bomb on Apex, and now the full rotation is going to happen. They already know, great shot from Chris, turning around, that's the triple kill, and that's going to be Happy alone, 1 versus 3. And Chris J just shutting Envy out of the round. That's the quad right then and there. What a round from Chris. Seemed like he was just the only one defending that yard for a long time. He's up at 9 now in total.
That's where the stars align, right? Because that is such a nightmare position for Chris. If his teammates are dying around him, he knows he's caught in a pincer. He just has to constantly whip 180s all over the place, hoping to get lucky and catch somebody, and the timing just worked out perfectly for him. Every time he turned, boom, he spots the man, lands the shot. And that's, I mean, that's just a stellar defense coming in there from that man right there. Chris J leading the charge. He's top fragging on the map right now as well, so some very solid work. I mean, he's kind of putting our fears to rest here. If you're a mousesports fan and you were worried that, hey, is Chris going to be here to back up Nico, etc., well, Chris is definitely showing up to fight. And Envy, they get checked, 5-5.
Yeah, Nico on the other hand hasn't been doing too much yet, although they've had a lot of rounds where they haven't really had anything still. Good start here for Envy as Devil picks off next. And finally, it's a quick round for Envy. You haven't seen that yet. And Kenny going to be picking up 1 kill. Speedy would have been dead either way, but he does return at least 1 shot there. It's a 2-on-4 right now. And Happy, I think he realized he saw Chris sneak it around the corner, but still couldn't get the kill. So it's between Chris and Nico, and now would be a really good time to see Nico step it up here and get some frags on the board. He's already a little bit of a shot coming through the wall bang there, but it won't matter. Kenny picking up the double kill, and NBK burning alive right at the end of the round. So 6-5, and again, continuing to trade rounds.
This is turning into a battle between the ops almost. It seems 10 kills for Kenny, or for Chris rather, 7 for Kenny. It's actually NBK who's up there doing a lot of work right now for EnVyUs. He's sitting on 10 kills. So this is also that factor. I mean, coming into it, right, anybody is capable of doing work for Envy. Even Devil is delivering right now with 8 kills. And so things are looking fantastic for Envy, considering mousesports are going on to another round of eco here. So it's definitely not looking too good for the hometown hopefuls. This is all up to Envy now to just kind of wreck things for mousesports. Should be a free and easy round. Apex, you can see, just charging out through A main. No respect, no fear. He knows they're going to have pistols, and so he's just here to collect some kills, try to pad the stats, catch up to NBK. And Happy's going to be there to ruin the party. No fun for you, Apex. Only 2.
Speedy. Again, even with all these kills, they're being very careful. Kenny hiding on the corner there. And Speedy gonna end up going down. So 7 rounds now for Envy. mousesports need the next 3 in a row. And they hardly have any money, but I actually think they should buy anyway here. I think looks like they might just go for like a half. No, they are gonna full buy up. I'm glad they didn't just go for a half buy here, even though it's pretty sketchy. I think it would be too much to allow Envy to just sort of walk away with an 8th round.
The fact is, right now, I'd prefer for Nico to actually hand that AWP over to Chris. instead of Chris having to bite the bullet and go for a rifle. Nico perfectly capable of rifling with the best.
Yeah.
Just trade. Give Chris the op so he can be as effective as possible in this round. I mean, very quick change of pace coming out here from Envy. They're straight out onto the A site, and KennyS is going to catch next shoulder peeking. Great punish coming through. The no scope on Dennis. He saw the shadow on the ground, and Kenny just times it perfectly. I spoke too soon, though. Chris, he brings it back with 2 kills.
Yeah, but now is the UMP versus the AK. Happy actually already revealing his position. That's going to help out Speedy a lot. Grenade, right? No, it gets caught by the pipe. Looked like he was about to have it dead on Happy there. Now becomes a bit of a patience game here. Happy going to go straight for the bomb plant. That puts a lot of pressure on Speedy, who's hiding on the other side, but at least he has the defuse kit. Oh, and the timing. Happy walking in towards the sniper nest. Speedy, no clue at all. Now he's going to be walking out. He might actually have some good timing here. If Happy's going to have a hard time, I think, making it back to the bomb if he starts defusing. He's going to have to make a lot of noise if that happens. And Speedy, when is he going to try for it? Now he's heard him running, tabs it once, and Happy sneaking around. And this is what I'm talking about. He has to run for it. Now he's on the other side. Headshots coming through the UMP. And Speedy going to win a big round for his team here. And that was the one problem with that position, is that to get back in time, he had to run. Oh, Speedy.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me?
He didn't have long enough fingers.
What is that? How does he not pick up the op? That is so frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, apparently it gets stuck in there.
All right, but I think you're dead on, Anders. I mean, Happy, the other thing that I was thinking is that Happy had a Molotov, and where he was, there was like literally no way for him to bank that Molotov onto the bomb or get the Molotov into play. I was thinking, obviously that's getting fancy, right? Because you don't really want to swap to a grenade in a clutch situation. But yeah, Happy, not the best clutch that we've seen from him, that's for sure. Speedy with the clutch. That's 2 big clutch rounds, basically 1 here for mousesports, keeping them in this fight.
It's such a good position because it's hard for Speedy to check if he walks to the right-hand side, right? But if he walks the other way around, it does become a little bit tricky. Now, Apex out in the open here, very low on health already, as Dennis going to be able to take him down. And mousesports starting to get a little bit going their way, and it seems like whenever that happens, Kenny's there to make things worse again. And Nico finding no luck at all out in this A courtyard. He's getting shot down round for round. Devil going to fall to next. We'll bring it a 4-on-3 here.
And that was not the prettiest situation there for Devil. Kenny, though, going to be able to bring it back. He's doing his job. 2 kills for him. Dennis with the AWP will pick off NBK. That was an A main, so the bomb is going to have to get picked up here by Kenny. And we're into a 2-on-3 scenario. Happy out in the open. And this is a rare bird. He is perfectly, yeah, exactly. Dennis realizes just how uncomfortable Happy was being out in the open, exposed, on point, decides to end the suffering, end the pain, and simplify matters. Now it's up to Kenny to just clutch it here, 1v3.
Yeah, and now the question is it worth it for him to try and go for it? They actually have almost no money on Envy side, so saving the AWP, considering how good he's been at sort of opening these rounds, it might be really valuable. But he's making a lot of noise, and Speedy hiding in the corner. Oh my god! Kenny, what are you doing? Going to be picking up that kill, runs into the bomb site. He's still in a 1-on-2. He could have had the shot then. 15 seconds left. He's going to push a little bit closer and puts down the bomb. They have a Molotov, so if they know where he is, that could be the end of it, and it's going to be Dennis to pick up the quad kill instead. But that was a ridiculous kill coming through from Kenny.
Please give me that in ultra slow-mo. I just want to relive that in all of its glory and all of its beauty, please.
That's where if you're Speedy, you just throw your mouse somewhere. You can't even handle it, can you?
What can you do? I mean, he's giggling, but right now he's kind of that like, haha, I'm so scared kind of giggle where it's just like, if I'm not giggling, I might just break down screaming because of what has just been done to me. He has every advantage, and Kenny's just like, nope. Quick scopes it as well, just boom, point blank.
Well then.
Doesn't even risk the no scope. He was so good. He was just like, okay then, okay.
Imagine if he picks up the second kill, the guy in the bomb side as well, if he just, because he had a moment where they both missed a shot. Anyway, it's going to be tied up at 7-7, moving into the 15th round. We got the double up in play once again here. And mousesports struggling to just get an 8th round on the board. This is not a good scoreline right now for the mousesports team. They need a lot more, and it's been a real struggle for them so far.
No, this is far from a solid scoreline for mousesports. They would be feeling all right if they were up at like 9 rounds right now, and they're battling for 9-6, maybe 10 rounds. They're battling for 10-5, 7-7. Way too close for comfort. EnVyUs now, I mean, they have a chance at coming out ahead in the half. And on Train, which is still a CT-sided map, that is not fun if you are mousesports. So we'll see. I mean, Speedy is still holding up close. He's got that M4. Nico's going to be backing him up. They had enough for the double AWP setup here, mousesports. And so we'll see if it's effective as Team EnVyUs are about to just go rushing out onto the site.
Oh, there's Nico picking up a kill, and Speedy down on the bomb site, dropping the bomb as well, and followed up with a kill on NBK. So great defense put up here by Speedy. Kenny, he only gets the 1 kill as Speedy picks up a triple, in fact, which will leave happy. 1 versus 4 for the 15th round here, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Quad kill for Speedy, in fact, and that's going to finish it at 8-7. So very interesting first half. Nico and Nex not doing too much. Envy overall, I think, coming ahead with a very good first half. They're going to be excited about that. And going into the second half, I think they're going to be in a very good position. We'll see how that goes after the break. Welcome back. We see Envy setting up here for the second half. It started out really weird with a bit of a chaotic knife round that ended up in mousesports' favor. I say knife round, but it's because some of them maybe stabbed a teammate. But it went in mousesports' favor in the end. But after that, they ended up trading rounds back and forth all of the time. And eventually it ended with 8-7, favoring mousesports by 1 round, which is nowhere near good enough. I think they're going to have such a hard time ending this game. Envy, especially if they win the pistol round here, are going to be very far ahead.
33-27. That must be throughout the group phase so far, because right now Kenny is sitting on 14 kills. He's tied for the lead with 14 for Speedy over on mousesports. Between the two of them right now, they're dead even. But Kenny, yeah, we saw some flashy plays from him at the end. It wasn't enough to be able to, just get Team EnVyUs ahead in the lead. Instead, mousesports finished the half with 8 rounds to their name on the CT side, and they're going to go into that T side.
Yeah, but I think more importantly, Kenny was so good at opening that A bomb side, just walking round for round and getting kills. And if you can do that on the T side, that is so important. You're playing 15 rounds, and Kenny's got, what, 14 kills? I don't know, not all of them were opening frags, but quite a few of them were. So, if you can help you, if even 7 of those kills are opening kills in the A-bomb side, that's all you need to do. Your team doesn't need anything else.
It's between him and Apex, right? Between him and Apex at the beginning of that half when they really started to get control and they were definitely stumbling mousesports. It was Apex showing up, getting kills, or it was Kenny. That's when really EnVyUs, Devil's job, calling the strats, it gets easy if your entry fraggers are doing their jobs. And so now we'll see how they fare on the CT side for Envy, because they've swapped off into the second half.
Oh god, 3 Molotovs on mousesports. I have a feeling that we're about to see some ridiculously elaborate plan coming out of the mousesports team here. I'm actually really nervous about what's going on here. It's been theorized for a while, and I think I've talked it up a couple of times. I've talked about it in various videos, this idea that you could sort of keep a perpetual fire burning with Molotovs, just sort of sequence them in on the bomb when it's planted. That's been talked about a couple of times, but the problem is, first of all, one smoke could ruin it now. Envy don't have one, if you'll notice, but still, if you make even one mistake, it could go horribly wrong.
Do we live in that world, Anders?
I think we might. I think we might see that, especially if they put this down right. Smokes are raining in now. They're going to try and see if they can make it out. Devil actually holding out here, and it seems like the bomb will maybe be heading back to the B bomb side. So this is all one big fake. They got 2 Molotovs still left, and Devil going to be going down. NiKo, his team needs him. They need to do a lot more right now, and he picks up an opening frag here, so that's a good start. Happy is still on the bomb side, and everyone from Envy has already rotated in the bomb. Is it going to go down? They need it right now, and Chris, he stops it. So the Molotovs, they're going to be worthless right now. No bomb plant, and Happy and Apex keep picking up a kill each. Now it's a 1-on-3 though, and Apex is going to be alone, trying to look for the USP shots here. 5 bullets left right now, hasn't reloaded, and finally that bomb plant is going to happen, and Apex is screwed.
Basically, he's stuck. He doesn't have a kit, so he has to find 3 kills on the B site instantly, and they've already got the high ground advantage. It's of course not going to happen. So that's the pistol round going for mousesports. That's both pistol rounds so far on this map going for mousesports. And so we'll see if they're going to be able to just kind of crush through here at the beginning on the T side, maintain their cool. It all kind of just spins out of control for Envy, unfortunately. Even if it looked like there was like a glimmer of hope when Chris J pulls off the bomb plant when Happy runs him. The problem is that MBK got killed over at Connector, so Happy just had to stay alive forever, basically, for EnVyUs to have a chance in there. Because otherwise, you have everybody from mousesports, they're just going to collapse back onto the site and take it over, which is exactly what happened. So, yeah, it never really, once Devil dies in that scenario, I'm just thinking, well, mousesports should definitely have this under control at this point because it's all about the rotation in, and mousesports should be able to control that.
I feel like it's a bit of a shame. They had that great plan, you know, sort of unfolding, and they never even got to execute it. They just,
Are you sure that that's what they had in mind, do you think?
I mean, at least they wanted to sort of firebomb the bomb from up, right? They only had 2 Molotovs at the end, but you can still keep it going for a long time. I mean, that's actually a ridiculous amount of time that's burned off the bomb if you do that, right?
It would be absolutely hilarious. Like, really, really funny.
Yeah, it would be, and I think there are a lot of maps actually where it's perfectly possible, but again, the problem becomes what happens if they have a smoke. Then it doesn't really matter how many Molotovs you throw onto that smoke. You're not really going to be doing anything. Classic wall of smokes going down. Apex with a strong start taking out Nyx as 3 members of mousesports are making their way down Ivy.
And now the paint train is arriving at the station, and as I say that, NBK is lighting him up. Going for the shoulder peaks with the Deagle. He'll whittle down Speedy and get the kill there. But we're still into a 3-on-3. Chris and Dennis both very low on HP, however, and that bomb control, EnVyUs can keep just challenging because it's out in the open. Now Dennis is down to 6 HP. It's not looking good here for mousesports. They've actually walked into a bit of a trap, and all of it started off with Apex getting a brilliant headshot with the scout in the beginning. Devil finds NiKo, and that's it.
Yeah, and honestly, NiKo was very slow to get out of main anyway. He was the only one with 100 HP when he started that, and he needed to hit that shot. I really don't like criticizing NiKo, but well, especially not because we've been on this best player in the world train for a little bit now. This is yeah, round is obviously over. There's no time left, so that's just going to be it. Envy with a good defense, and mousesports with some weird timing.
It just weighs on you, right? I mean, NiKo has even spoken about this in interviews done in the past. I believe it was the one that he had with Thorin over at E-League, where he was just like, you know, sometimes it is a problem that I try and do too much because I'm thinking, okay, all of this is going to come down to me. Now it's up to me, and I have to go out, and he takes too many risks because of that. He tries to force things when he needs to actually just be counting on his teammates to get the job done. Bit of a tough scenario for NiKo if you think about it, and in his opinion as well, he's just like, actually, that can hurt sometimes more than help when I try and actually, you know, do that. And it might weigh in those sorts of scenarios where that's what's just, you know, screwing into his mind, where he's just like, okay, I got to hit the shot, and he just isn't able to do it.
Yeah, and in this case, I would say he was maybe being a little bit too cautious, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of prefer the all carry NiKo, you know, just bring that back, and maybe it backfires sometimes, but I think Berserker. Yeah, I think they need it right now. Like they need him to get a, you know, double kill per round more or less here. He's still at 8, 5 on next, but that's where the scoreboard ends at the bottom. Then it's 13 for Dennis, 14 for Chris, 15 for Speedy. So yeah, something needs to happen here. Well, Devil down on the site with Happy as well. So 2 men on the bomb site, and mousesports, they have some firepower behind this. They're not completely without equipment, but oh, that grenade right as they run out, so they actually dodge it entirely, and the timing could be better. Oh, Chris falls to his death with the assistance of Happy. Dennis picking up a double kill, and that's going to be a 4-on-3.
This works out perfectly for mousesports. The timing impeccable. Kenny, long range, will find Nico stepping out into the open, so that's not going to be a feel-good moment there for Nico. He is out of it. Kenny picks off Spitty as well. That bomb, it's out in the open beneath the spools, and he's not going to be able to get to it for free. It comes down to this, well, it comes down to the kills, and Apex is going to win his duel versus Nex, and it's all on Dennis, and Apex sees him coming from a mile away. Now it falls apart for mousesports. How do they bounce back from this? A 1v2 clutch scenario now for Dennis, and he's got 20 seconds to make it happen.
This is very nearly impossible. And Kenny, third kill of that round for him. mousesports, so much of that round comes down to the fact that they couldn't get the bomb down. Because this is such a good start for them. In spite of Chris hilariously falling to his death, this still is really good. But that bomb being dropped sort of on the right-hand side of the bomb site, that causes a lot of issues for the mousesports team. Now we're tied up 9 versus 9.
So it looked like both players who survived the drop with Chris actually charged forward and just kind of neglected to realize that the bomb was beneath spools. So they charged forward and then realized, wait, we're missing something. They have to go back. And obviously Envy, they've rotated in by then. So it's that kind of hiccup that's going to cost mousesports here. They cannot allow EnVyUs to start picking up steam. NBK with the peek at Ali, going to spot out Dennis. A little bit of an HE to greet him, but Apex will end his pain and his suffering before then. Finds the headshot. NBK will take out Nex instead. This is just a standard anti-eco sort of scenario here for mousesports. They put 3 at Ali, hoping to be able to sneak the bomb onto the site. It's just not meant to be. Apex reigns supreme. 3 kills for him. And Nico not able to take on Devil. Was with the Glock though, so I mean, versus an M4.
Yeah, what can you expect?
Right?
Well, Envy gonna take the round lead here again, now at 10-9, and there is money on mousesports, so we will see a buy here out of them. They don't have the same luxury that Envy did with Kenny opening up the rounds with the AWP. They can't afford that yet, so they're gonna have to go all AKs with it here. The single Molotov being picked up. And we'll see if mousesports can have an impact on the round here. I feel like if Envy win even 2 more rounds, then their economy will so much better. I think now is kind of the time for mousesports to really do something. And maybe especially Nico, it is a time. Kenny will reply immediately, taking down 1, and NBK is there with the shot as well. And mousesports slowing down the push a lot, and that buys time for the rest of Envy to show up, and that's something they just can't afford. You see Devil picking up 2 kills, leaving Nex alone.
And wondering what the hell what went wrong. This was supposed to be an execute. We got the entry kill immediately on Apex to start. This is when we were supposed to be all fired up and ready to go, but Devil, NBK, and Kenny, I mean, basically Devil with that very quick flank coming over from B into Pop Dog. He sprayed down 3, well, sprayed down 2, got the last kill there on Nex, but it's between Kenny and Apex. Instant reaction from them. They just realize instantly when Apex is getting run down, we have to step in. They get the 2 kills necessary to slow things down on mousesports.
Yeah, but it's so confusing because mousesports do put up all the necessary smokes for that A execute, and they even get the entry in the yard. So that's where you know, all right, fine. At the very least, we'll have a bomb plant here and we'll try and defend it. But instead, once that happens, they just all stop. They just stop running anywhere, and that's really confusing. I mean, Kenny did admittedly sort of instantly get the refrag, but still, you have the smokes in place to put the bomb down. There's just, it seems like there's a lot of indecision on the team right now.
And that's probably what Casada is just talking about right now. You see the hand motions right now, you know, it's just like, I don't know, I was kind of thinking, you know, lewd, you know, it's just like, because he had him like this, right?
I think it's just Serbian for, I will beat you up if you don't actually start moving.
That's what YNK is definitely thinking, you know, that's his pep talk.
Yeah.
Like, rip off their arms and beat them to death with them.
I mean, that's motivational, isn't it?
Kenny is a superhuman, but I don't know if the rest of them can manage that.
I don't think this is you know, a game where, you know, trying to sort of sweet talk your teammates into doing better does not always work. Sometimes you just gotta get a bit rougher than that, I feel like. Currently, top fragging on the server is actually Kenny, which is very good news for Envy. I mean, we've been saying this for a while, and it made sense to me initially when Apex and Kenny joined this team that they weren't going to be the sort of the stars of the team, just try and relax and try and slowly fit into the team. But I feel like you can only keep a resource like Kenny bottled up for so long. Eventually, you sort of have to create some space for him. If that's what they're doing here, and if he's hitting shots like he is right now, it would be interesting to see what happens if Envy make it through to the playoffs and start playing in best of 3s against some of the high-level teams, because it seemed like EnVy haven't been able to compete against anybody recently. But you know, last couple of weeks actually, it's been on the incline for them, I feel like.
It has been, and that's like basically a long-term plan, because a couple of months ago, basically, when they had a bit of a quiet period, they decided to just revamp their game entirely, right? And so it's all about, you know, the slower style that we've been seeing from them so far on their T side, right? Trying to change it up, trying to get a little bit more of a tactical approach to complement the ultra aggression that we see here from Happy to begin with. You know, peeking into brown halls, that's something that we expect to see from EnVy. But EnVy have basically spent a lot of time trying to look at their game and figure out what can we do differently to be effective again. So getting into the playoffs, there's a start. Now we have to look at them, you know, actually winning a major again, because the core of this team actually have 2 major titles, just to remind you.
Devil caught in a really awkward position there, and he had almost nowhere to go. There were so many Molotovs raining in, but oh no! It's a barbecue going on at the B-bomb site next, and Den is immediately out. Happy trying to stop this bomb from being planted, but Chris will succeed in doing that much, and Speedy, not a lot he could do here. Just gets trucked by Kenny running in with that 5-7, but still, pretty good job there. I mean, that wasn't a full commitment to the round from mousesports. They got a couple of kills and put the bomb down. I think that's a success by anybody's standard.
Absolutely. Look at their money. You know, they're all floating around 6K. That's exactly what they're aiming for. They didn't win, but I mean, they didn't win the round, but it was a small win. Now they have the money, they have the options. They could have gone for a double AWP if they want between Nico and Chris. Nico instead going to go for that AK. Chris, just the anchor opper. And we've seen some variety from Chris in the past. He's not one of those oppers who really just, you know, decides I'm going to always ever take it here, right? Which we've seen from some oppers who fall into patterns. Chris, he's a little bit more versatile. This is actually one of his preferred setups. What they're going to do is put 3 guys over by alley and have one of them jump across the alley opening to allow Chris to get the angle. So in case Kenny is over there, which he is, sitting there holding the angle, boom, they can set up. MBK, though, going to go ahead and just wreck everything I've said by finding the opening kill on Nico to begin with already. So there you go. Now EnVyUs, they actually have the opening kill before that mousesports play can even happen.
Yeah, and that puts them in a strange position once again. Decent grenade put out by Kenny. A little bit of return on investment there. And somehow mousesports have to get back into the round here. Flashbang out, and Chris is there to pick up that kill. So that's a nice return. I think they might definitely prefer that mousesports.
Yeah, that's solid work from Chris. A little bit longer, you know, in the making, but they eventually do just bottle in. Kenny, the problem is for mousesports right now is that they've completely lost any kind of control they had over towards B. Brown Hall's Devil and Happy just chilling up there. They've got full control of it. They've got eyes up towards Pop Dog as well. That's where Devil is setting up. Now he's even going to go for the bait smoke, where he's going to make it look like, hey, I'm hanging out on the site. So he's hoping to pull a fast one on mousesports right now, catch somebody out for free. He seems to be favoring these one and done sort of situations, Devil, though, just like in the pistol, where it's just like, he'll get 1 kill, he shouldn't get 2, and he doesn't even get the 1. So definitely not as good as it could have been there for Devil.
Now, are they going to realize that Happy is up here and also MBK down there? It's going to be a little bit tricky right now. The bomb, though, is quite far away, making its way into the A bomb site. So Dennis is just going to have to buy time and stay alive. And he looks like he's doing a pretty good job right now. Finally, Happy comes in with the kill, but the bomb is down, and it's a 3-on-3. And the rotation time now is a little bit long for especially Happy trying to get in here. So MBK already fighting a bit out in the yard, and they have no Molotovs left on the T side. Good shot from Christo to pick up a 3rd kill coming in on MBK, which is going to leave Happy. What can he do right now? He's got a kit, but he's almost out of time right now, so may have to just run away eventually.
Some sick on-the-fly play coming in here from mousesports. Happy, there really isn't a whole lot that he can hope to do. He drops Next down to 2 HP, but that was through the smoke. He has no idea that Next was low, so he won't be able to stick it, and Speedy will find the kill on Happy in the end. So mousesports survive a key round, 10-12. This is MBK. Oh, it was the wallbang shot on Nico at the beginning. That is infuriating. But
you know what? I think we could probably find a couple of 100 GIFs that would explain exactly what Nico felt like right there. You know, yeah. Nico's own GIFs where he sort of looks into the ceiling and thinks, my God.
We've had a few compilations.
There's been quite a few already.
I want to see more of that, though, right? Because it's so standard for a lot of these default setups on T side to just put 2 guys over towards brown halls like that. So more wall bangs, please, right? I bet you'll get a result like that more often than not.
Well, we'll see. Kenny back here by the train, and it looked like it was going to be a bit aggressive for mousesports, but as soon as they see that smoke, they get a little bit anxious and wonder if anyone's hiding inside it. Not this time, though. Devil and Happy on the site. Now, mousesports, do finally win a round, they have to keep going here. They need to put Envy back on a Nico if they want any chance of getting back in the game.
This is a bit of a tough spot, though, right now for mousesports, because they used a lot of their utility to set up that fake towards B. They put all their nades out onto A, right? Made it look like it was going to be a full execute, then did not go through with it, didn't follow through, so now they're limited on their nades. They still have the 3 Molotovs, so they could do that unlimited Molotov chain. But more importantly, they only have the 1 smoke, so we'll see where Speedy decides to use that. He's currently making his way towards upper, so they're just hoping to just cascade out onto the site. Flash coming in, that's the anti-flash from Devil, just buying a little bit more time. 45 seconds left here for mousesports, though, and they are going to commit to this B site. Now that there's no more time for them to mess around, they have to just kind of run out here and get the job done.
Yeah, and this might actually work out because Happy and Devil can both focus on Opera, and there's no one going to be able to take down Happy. But because of that instant kill, Dennis, what a fantastic opening. Shutting down Happy, and he was only going to be effective as long as Devil was still alive. So it actually was a great setup for Envy. They just couldn't count on the fact that Dennis was going to be such a monster. Now Apex down in the smoke, and he was never going to make it out either. Kenny and MBK, it is time to run away. No point in fighting. And Nico lurking in from behind. MBK going to go and fight him. And Nico picking up a kill. It's got to feel pretty good for him right now. I feel like anything that Nico can get on the board is going to probably help him personally to start feeling a little bit better.
He sounded a bit surprised there, actually, Anders. You know, like,
yeah,
Nico got a kill? What? I haven't really been saying his name too much this game, though, so I mean, I don't blame you.
It really hasn't been his game. And we can make some excuses for the fact that he was playing in the B-bomb side and all that stuff, but still, there's been some missteps, I would say.
I just feel like Happy, that sort of scenario is just really frustrating because it's kind of like the kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, right? Because he's like, I can grab 1 cookie, but can I get more cookies, right? And so he's in there, and then Dennis actually just, you know, drops the lid of the cookie jar on his hand and like severs his hand off at the wrist, and unfortunately he has to grow up, you know, minus a hand. That got dark, but my point is, Happy, he tried to go for a gamble. He tried to get more cookies. Unfortunately, it just didn't pan out this time.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think the metaphor broke down at some point, but but I follow the train of logic here. Yeah, so I mean, the issue you have if you're trying to put 3 or 4 members out from upper on the B-bomb side is that you can't just all walk out. You sort of, at least some of the members have to sort of like slide down and just run down the ladder, right? So if you've got the setup that Devil and Happy did, you're actually in a great position to just entirely crush them. You've got 2 rifles trained up there, and you should be able to get a lot of kills. I think that works almost all of the time, except for when Devil gets headshot immediately. So that's gotta be a bit annoying. We do have a tactical timeout, I'm assuming, here.
I'm seeing a lot of typing between NBK and Kenny right now. So not a whole lot of talking going on between these guys. That's probably Apex and Devil. Apex usually one of the more talkative guys. NBK usually saves his Friday Night Lights speech for, you know, a tactical timeout like this or the halftime. So I'm a little bit surprised to see him talking or typing just so much with Kenny, because in general, NBK spends this time kind of shouting at his teammates. So,
you know what? If they're typing instead of talking, I found a big flaw in Envy's approach to this game. I can instantly think of a way to optimize their communication by quite a lot of percent.
Use the mic?
Good 300-400% maybe. Yeah. I think that's the way forward. I'm not gonna lie. It is a new technology. Microphones haven't been around for that long, but even if new things are scary, I feel like they should make that adjustment.
Oh, man. I mean, right now, I'm definitely seeing a world in which mousesports could kind of run this back, because EnVyUs are definitely on the limit as far as the money is concerned. Kenny, he's saved that AWP, obviously he did, but now he actually dropped a FAMAS for Happy, so it looks like they might try and go for some OG EnVyUs style play here. They might go for a force.
Can I try and be the ultimate Nico apologist here?
Jesus.
I do kind of want to do that. I feel like I have to.
All right, what do you got? What do you got? Hit me.
I'm wondering if what we're seeing is because you got a sort of a rare version of mousesports coming out here, where it's Dennis, Chris, and Speedy doing most of the fragging, and next I feel like we've all given up on this point. So Nico, though, wow, he might be doing I think a lot of the, I mean, he's always doing the in-game leading, right? But he might be doing a lot of the calling and trying to sort of, you know, communicate with Kassad to try and figure out how do we break this. And there are some in-game leaders, and this happens, I think, to a number of different people. If they end up spending all of their sort of resources on doing that, that detracts from their ability to get a bunch of kills in the game. So I just want to say that is a scenario. But again, that might just be me making up excuses on behalf of Nico.
It might be, especially because these days we seem to, well, in one case, yes, you have Fallen and Zeus. They work as a duo, right? But Fallen is definitely calling the shots. And yet that guy regularly just, you know, crushes people's souls, right? Their dreams, their hopes. He doesn't care. He's merciless, ruthless, just a monster. But then you have Starks. And then he doesn't really have an in-game leader. But Na'Vi are the other team to me that just feel like, right, they're all monsters, but they're in-game leaders outside of the game. So obviously he doesn't care about frags. He only cares about calls. So you have like two models that are working right now, but those are kind of like the peak, right, at the very top of the food chain. Then you've got mousesports where I guess, yeah, you just kind of have to expect Nico to give you a superhuman performance every map. Gonna be tough to do, though.
Well, we'll see how it works out. Good flashbang in on Kenny. Are they gonna expect NBK to be able to follow it up? They're still right on that corner. And a bit scary here. Envy only have the AWP, but it's not just the rifle, it's also who carries it. So they can't be too sure right now. mousesports, if they lose this round to Envy, that would be a real tragedy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, of catastrophic proportions. Like, it would not be allowed. You are not allowed to lose this round, mousesports, at this point. If you are mousesports, this is your golden opportunity to crush EnVyUs into the ground, take control of this map. So 11 to 12, mousesports trail, but it's up to Kenny. Kenny's been hitting his shots, though. Devil, again, as we go to him now, he's got that Deagle. Not the best gun to have up close. I'm not a big fan of that, but he's trying to, once again, put some pressure on Brown Hall, so we'll see if there's any action over there. As mousesports once again set up for that smoke execute onto A. Kennyus, he's got the angle, and he misses the shot. He misses the shot that would have opened it all up, that would have just completely halted mousesports. Instead, now he has to fall back, and he's only got 12 HP to work with.
Right, that definitely should have been at least an opening frag there. So a little bit confusing and maybe a little bit disappointing to Apex here, trying to see if he can connect on someone. They've done a lot of damage to 3 of the members of mousesports, but they haven't been able to find a kill yet. So I think right now, just maybe leave this bomb site alone, Kenny, and go. And I would even want Happy to fall back just to try and make sure they can save the AWP for later on. Just no risks taken. Happy, though, really wants to see if he could maybe force someone to go up with a bomb, I think.
I mean, 3 of them are low, right? They've taken some damage, but mousesports now, they should be realizing, right, we saw Happy. We know that Kenny was at back lines. We can go right out through A main towards T-spawn, and everybody will be hunky-dory. They'll be, you know, good time. They can give each other a group hug. They can start thinking about what they're going to do when Envy have the money to go for a buy again. Which shouldn't be long, because this wasn't a round of eco. Yeah, no hesitation whatsoever. Envy, they take the round of eco, and now they go straight into the buy. Kenny going to be able to drop a rifle. Actually, whoa, Kenny drops an AWP.
Yes, so I mean, mousesports did it when they were on the CT side. Why not have Envy do it as well? So Happy picking up the other one, and we're tied at 12-12.
That to me, though, like Happy doesn't. It's been a long time since I've considered Happy to be like a top-tier opper, though, you know, like even close to a top-tier opper. So other teams, Cold Zero, Fallen, right? You know, you think they definitely have that in their playbook. Guardian seized. EnVyUs, it always seems like you have to give that off to Kenny, but then the second opper, NBK, Happy, is just a little off, right? They don't really have that go-to, right, where you think he's going to be just as effective.
Yeah, but I mean, during E-League, he was actually hitting some pretty good shots with it. So, you know, if you know, it's not, I wouldn't say it's consistent, but throughout that week, he was doing all right with it. So maybe that's just what they're thinking about. And they have to find a way to sort of change that B defense, it seems, right? So now they've got Devil playing close with Happy in the back lines, a little bit of a trick setup going on over there. In fact, it seems like it's going to be on the A side of the map, though. Nico moving out through Pop Dog and actually through the smoke. He's sneaking in. This is some tricky play coming out of the Bosnian superstar. He's trying to see if he could maybe lurk even further. I think they don't have any idea that he's there. And they both got their knives out. Nico! How does he not get a kill? He almost took down both of them. Nex is there to try and follow it up, but that's ridiculous. You couldn't get a better opening than that, it seems like. And now Happy gonna try and fall back, and somehow it all works out. But
I'm going to go ahead and venture forth something here, an idea. Tell me if I'm off on this. But Nico, it's all right that he didn't get the 2 kills because it just completely freaked EnVyUs out so hard that it was total chaos. They had no idea what was going on at that point. And the rest of his teammates were able to capitalize on that distraction and lock down the round, right? Nico didn't get any kills, but he was still instrumental.
I mean, it was definitely very impressive, but you know, you obviously want the kills at the end of the day. I just can't even believe it. I think the fact is everyone ends up having one of these days where nothing works, right? The problem is you don't want that day to be at a major. That's That's the problem, right?
Or at a best of one with your major life on the line.
So a little bit terrifying right now. 13-12 though, and the fact is mousesports have won 4 rounds in a row, and EnVy have almost no economy going for them. Again, to reiterate, the loser is out of the tournament. This is a critical game for both teams. Right now, Happy sneaking over at the B side. Devil and Apex are also over there, so they've got a slight stack going on with Devil actually with a flashbang. I'm wondering if he's going to try and flash over the wall. I think he... Oh, no. Could probably flash over the wall to try and see if he can help out with that peak, but they're just going to be walking up instead. And Dennis, though, is ultimately there to cover it on the other side. So they're still in a good position, mousesports.
Yeah, this is actually some good thorough play here, because it could be setting up, but they know that EnVyUs, they're one of those teams that can just go wild, try and throw a haymaker out of nowhere and go for some ultra aggression, right? Instead, and so mousesports, they sit all the way back in T-spawn. They're like, right, we'll be really far back, so we have the advantage with the rifles. They're going to have the pistols. They may be trying to run at us with P250s. If I've got an AK, I should win that fight. And that's what they're thinking. And so Nico catches Apex out. Not sure if he spotted an extra man through. It seems like he did, though, because he is kind of worried about that angle. But this should set it up now for mousesports to start collapsing onto that A site. They have the 3 guys over towards Alley once again.
Yes, and I don't see NBK being able to stop this right here. He's got the Deagle close range. Kenny's walking on the other side, so a crossfire of Deagles would be kind of a miracle if they can make that work. Dennis being shot in the back and actually taking a while to react. Great double kill. NBK coming in with that, but Devil getting caught at the wrong time by Nex, which will leave Happy.
And well, what can Happy really hope to do here? Bomb gets planted. He's got plenty of time to maneuver with. And he seems to have tried to sell them on the idea that he's going to be coming backwards through the halls, because you already have Nico kind of lurking his way out to T-spawn. But with the shotgun, if he can pick up a kill with the shotgun, that could work. You could do something with that.
Maybe get a bit more money in the bank. That is not going to happen. And now mousesports are getting dangerously close to a win here. 14-12. Finally, EnVy can buy again. They do pick up the 1A WP, and I think Happy's sort of contemplating, should there be a second one too? Still hasn't bought. There it is. So he does pick it up. I was wondering if that was going to be the case. They didn't really get a chance to use the setup anyway last time, because what they had in the previous double up setup is they had Devil playing on the ladder, and then they had Happy really far back. So they had sort of a bit of a weird trick going on. This time it's early with 4 men in A. And we'll see if they are going to end up falling back. A lot of flashes actually going out right now, and a lot of smokes too, but no one pushing. Nico may be setting up to do it, but the rest of mousesports, oh, they are going to be down the ladder, in fact, quite quickly. How are they going to run straight through? Actually, no time wasted here. Mousesports, they can sense a bit of weakness, and they're going to go for the kill. A quick trade going in. Next also falling speedy. Comes in with a kill on Devil. Kenny gets taken out, and that's Nico with the spray. He picks up a second kill. Been a long time since he's had any double kills, it seems, in this game, and that leaves it all on Happy. 1 versus 3. And the bomb is not planted yet, but how does Happy save this round for EnVy?
I don't know if it's Kassad calling this or if it's Nico calling this play, but whoever it is, he deserves a kiss right now, because this is some long-term planning coming into play to put mousesports on match point versus EnVyUs. They've run this strat several times now, and always with a little variation. Either you go through A, they've thrown the A smokes and gone towards B a couple times, and so EnVyUs immediately, they have the 4 players on A at the beginning of the round with Happy holding in Link, but as soon as they see those smokes go down, doubt starts to set in. They're like, okay, we're not actually sure if they're going to commit to A, and so Happy has to rotate back over towards B to back Devil up. That weakens the A defense, and that opens it up. It's just that moment of confusion on EnVyUs' side. That's the window that mousesports are looking to create with that play. So sick. And it puts some mousesports on match point now with EnVyUs on a force buy. It couldn't get any better than this, mousesports. It's on a platter. It's up to you now to stick your fork in and just start eating.
Happy taking matters into his own hands right now. Going to be creeping up, but again, they have Dennis and Nico sort of holding the back line, it seems, so just making absolutely sure that there's not going to be any kind of trickery going on. In fact, all over the map, that's all they're doing right now, is just defending.
And now again, the aggression. Nico this time, though, he is pacing himself. A little bit of a scary part where he gets right here up to the fork. He has to start worrying about a couple of different angles. He might be able to get the drop on Happy. He's worried about the right side. And then he comes right down behind him, and this time he doesn't miss. Sprays down both. And that sets it up now. mousesports, they're primed to take this round, take this map, and keep their hopes alive here in the major.
Yeah, the heart of any Envy fan watching right now is just going to be sinking a little bit here, as they knew exactly what that meant. Double kill for Nico. He's been absent throughout this whole game almost, but now the last couple of rounds he's really stepped it up. There's Apex picking up one shot with the Max 7. More are coming though, and next will get a headshot on him, leaving NBK and Kenny trying to stay alive, but NBK knows he's getting flanked by Nico as well. There's next picking up a kill, and that's going to be it. 16-12 as mousesports put Envy out of the major. What a game that was. I mean,
I was just pumped.
Hardly believe it. That's going to be 22 kills for Kenny, and it still wasn't enough. Envy, we know that they've been sort of searching. We know this whole idea of bringing Devil onto the team has been sort of a long-term thing, and they've been trying to work on it. Apparently, they haven't got enough work in just yet. That's got to be a bit of a painful loss for them. mousesports, on the other hand, they're one step closer.
Yeah, they have not been. It's not like they've been just sitting, resting on their laurels. Envy, you know, they did for a while, but they got back to some hard work over the past several months, really trying to reinvent their game in preparation for this day today, for this major, and it just falls short versus a team like mousesports. Nico, everybody showing up for mousesports as well. There was nobody that lagged behind today. Everybody delivered, and that's what meant that mousesports go through and Envy go home. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm sure we'll have an interview ready for you.